Hey, it's August, so why not talk about winter? Well, we should because the La Nina watch was just issued by the Climate Prediction Center. Really not a huge deal. In fact, most of the year is what we're going to call neutral, which is normal. It's not El Nino or La Nina. El Nino is when the water in the Pacific is warm. La Nina is when the water in the Pacific is cool. So the cool part, all right. There's the cool water showing up with the blue right there. That means below average. And again, it's not by a lot, a little bit. Notice all the water around it still showing up a little bit above average as well. So here's the latest climate model prediction. Notice how it dips a little bit right there. And basically the OND and the NDJ right there, that stands for October, November, December, and then November, December, January. We do climate in kind of 3-month increments. It's climate, not weather, right? So it takes a little while for us to get the picture there. It's just a small dip though. It's not going to be the whole winter. It's not going to last into the spring. It's a very weak, very brief La Nina. So another way we can look at this, the blue is favored La Nina, the gray is neutral, and the red is El Nino. So as you can see, when we go through the winter there, well, we are favoring La Nina at least for a little bit. October, November, December, maybe through Christmas and January, but then we switch into more of a neutral pattern. And again, that's just not having major influences from the Pacific Ocean. Now, what I do want to point out, what can actually kind of enhance La Nina's effect sometimes, is this warm blob right here. You can see Alaska up there, right? To the left of Alaska, that's the northeastern part of Russia. Of course, the western seaboard of the United States is just off the picture that way. Basically, the whole northern part of the Pacific Ocean is just really, really warm right now compared to average. So when we take a look at the typical La Nina pattern there and the influences, it really makes sense, right? What happens is we get a high pressure, things go over the high pressure in kind of a clockwise formation there. So we get the ridge, which is warm for areas like, maybe the northern Pacific, Alaska, and then it dips down. So the blue is the jet stream potential there, just favored with the La Nina pattern, dips down and then kind of swoops back up towards the northeast. Well, that puts us kind of on the storm track, but also the possibility for unleashing some cold air from Canada, maybe even the polar areas as well. And as it dips down and swoops back up, guess what this is? That's the Gulf. We get the Gulf moisture. So we get the Gulf moisture, the cold air, and that's why sometimes we can favor cooler conditions with more snowfall than normal in Michigan. But again, things are always subject to change, and it's just a brief La Nina. It's not going to be like this the whole winter, and a lot of our climate models are indicating a cool down in January and February. Will it be like a couple years ago when we had the 2 weeks of winter? Hard to say. That was a big El Nino year, but it is something that we are definitely going to be keeping an eye on. And I just wanted to let you know, La Nina watch has officially been issued.